Have a look at this curve. What do you understand by this curve? This curve shows impact of vega, theta and gamma. In short, effect of time value. And where is the impact maximum? Maximum impact of these vega, theta and gamma are at the money options. Vega, theta and gamma have lesser impact on in the money options and out of the money options, and maximum impact is on at the money options. Is this clear? Now answer these questions. Where is highest vega in terms of moneyness and expiry? And where is highest theta in terms of moneyness and expiry? Now let's discuss about gamma. We have already discussed about some part of gamma in last session. What is gamma? Gamma is a demigod. It is second order derivative of price movement. First order derivative is delta. Gamma tells us how delta will change with every point move in underlying. Gamma has small effect on option pricing. As underlying keeps moving up and down, delta value keeps changing. This change in delta is governed by gamma. Let us see how we can interpret gamma. As underlying changes, delta changes. Delta for strike is not fixed and it changes with movement in underlying. Because of gamma, percentage participation fluctuates due to change in delta. Gamma tells us how much will be change in delta. Gamma helps delta in creating dynamic leverage effect. Delta reduces when move is not favorable and it increases when move is as anticipated. Okay, any questions about delta and gamma? Now let's discuss correlation of gamma with options. First we'll go ahead with correlation with calls. Gamma is positively correlated with calls. As price of underlying increases, delta also increases, and with delta, gamma also increases. Call delta is 0 to plus 1 and gamma increases delta to plus 1 levels in up move. Gamma reduces delta to 0 in down move. This is for calls. For puts, gamma is negatively correlated. As price decreases, delta decreases. Put delta is 0 to minus 1. So as prices of underlying decrease, delta decreases from minus 0.5 to minus 0.6, minus 0.7 and so on. This is for puts. Gamma increases put delta towards 0 in up move of underlying, and gamma reduces delta to minus 1 in down move of underlying. Okay, any questions related to gamma? Most of the part on gamma was covered in delta. Now let's discuss about rho. Rho is least important of all Greeks and we are covering it just for theory completion. Rho measures the change in option premiums with 1% change in interest rate, and 1% change in interest rate never takes place in one meeting. Usually it is at the most 0.5%. Most of the times it is either no change or 0.25% change. So this Greek is least used Greek. Let us see interpretation of rho. When underlying is more expensive, rho is greater. More expensive the underlying, greater is the rho. What is rho? Rho is for rate of interest. So if underlying is costly, interest will be higher on costly things because money involved is more. That's why when underlying is more expensive, rho value is more. In longer term to expiration, greater is value of rho. This is same. Longer duration of interest will be more. Similarly, longer duration for expiry, rho value will also be more. Rho is a factor which is based on time and price. Positions which mimic long scripts have positive rho values. Therefore, bullish strategies with positive delta positions have positive rho values, and positions that mimic shorting of underlying have negative rho values. Therefore, bearish positions with negative delta have negative rho values. That's all about rho. There is not much to discuss in it. We have completed discussion about understanding option Greeks. Out of these 5 Greeks, which Greeks have effect on intrinsic value and which of them have effect on extrinsic value? Can anyone tell? So here they are. Intrinsic value is affected purely by delta and gamma. Other Greeks do not have any effect on intrinsic value. Whereas extrinsic value gets affected by theta, vega and rho. Theta decay is highest for near expiry and for at the money strikes. Theta only decreases option premiums. It cannot ever increase option premiums. Vega has massive effect on extrinsic value of options. Vega is highest for at the money options. However, Vega effect is more on far expiries. So, highest effect is on at the money and far expiries. Rho also has effect only on extrinsic value and it decreases option premiums gradually as time passes. It is like daily interest which will be reduced from options extrinsic value. Now, does delta have any effect on extrinsic premiums? Yes, delta has effect on extrinsic premiums because reduction in extrinsic premiums is also decided by delta while the day progresses. Gamma is free with delta, so delta and gamma both have effect on extrinsic premiums as well. Rate of change of extrinsic premium is also decided by delta. So it also affects option premiums extrinsic value. Delta and gamma affect intrinsic as well as extrinsic premiums, but rho, vega and theta affect only extrinsic premiums. Now hopefully option Greeks are clear. Do you have any questions? Any question related to option Greeks understanding?